Welcome everyone to Bar Perfect and day umpteen of the coronavirus quarantine. You probably have already reorganized your garage and named your sporting equipment due to the isolation and started talking to them. But in case you're curious about what's going to happen with the July 2020 bar exam or even the June 2020 baby bar, that's going to depend on your state. So I've gone through the internet and got a little research. Your best resource is the State Bar of California. Your local state bar. Mine would be the State Bar of California, calbar.ca.gov, but also the National Committee of Bar Examiners. So, April 15th, the State Bar of California, the Board of Trustees, submitted a letter to the Chief Justice with their findings on what to do with the upcoming bar exams. So, they've given options. But before they gave the options in their letter, dated April 15th, they patted themselves on the back on how much work they've done and gathered all of this input because they care so much. And one of the things that I noticed in the letter says these comments underscored the significance of proceeding in as thoughtful a manner as possible regarding the upcoming examinations to ensure that the applicants are treated fairly and that the public is protected consistent with the state bar's mission. If you ever become an attorney, and hopefully you will remember and learn quickly that the state bar is out to protect the public and not serve your best interest. They're there to make sure that you're not malpracticing. So that includes that you are well prepared. Not that they don't pass enough or fail enough. They want to still make sure that they're protecting the public interest. Okay, so the considerations were, well, everyone's staying at home and they have limited access. The adverse impact of delaying everything because that will affect your finances and your debt will accumulate and student loans might come due. You might not be able to get a job, but also the economic impact on individuals and families resulting has accelerated the need for graduating law students to enter the workforce. I didn't know California was so concerned with putting more lawyers in the workforce. Well, apparently the bar is, because you're going to be so qualified to help all those people being evicted as a brand new lawyer. Okay? And finally, they need to ensure the minimum competency of new licensees. So that's their rationale. Now, so the thing that I found in this letter right here, the options for proceeding which are described below are shaped by the board's belief that it is not feasible to administer an in-person examination in June or July. Well, they're definitely not going to do it online completely, so they've come up with these options. No one can predict with any certainty when regulatory restrictions will allow for resumption. Fair enough, I get that, And number two, they want to determine that you have minimal competence to pass the bar. And once again, the mission of the state bar is to ensure the public protection. They've said it twice in 2 pages. So they sound like lawyers already writing and repeating themselves. Option 1 is the preferred option. Not that it's going to happen. And option 2 is whatever they want to call it. Option 1, that they still administer the bar exam. So they're not going to cancel it. They're going to potentially postpone it. Okay? And that means they will postpone it until September of this year. Now, so why September? Well, that gives them 4 months to grade your exam, give you results, find out that you fail, and you can re-enroll and start studying for the February 2021 exam. So it gives them enough time to take all your money and let you down. The National Committee of Bar Examiners is also, I'll read their article in a minute, they're releasing questions or an exam that will still allow people to go forward in July, and 2 exams in September. California will likely choose September 9th and 10th. So put that in your calendars tentatively, strong tentatively. You could even almost ink it, September 9th and 10th. But now remember, this is a recommendation. The bar has not ruled. Okay. The preferred options include remote proctoring vendors. Well, the retired wonderful senior citizens that have proctored your exams will now be limited in their authority, and they will be proctoring the exams by other vendors. When I took the exam, one of the ladies was on the commercial of I think it was Big O tires or Discount Tire, where they said if you're not happy, bring it back. I know that's a side note, but there's hundreds of them, and they're wonderful people, and they put in a lot of time. So shout out to them. Okay, back on subject. So they're going to postpone it, likely administer it, the proctoring remotely, but they will still require that you do it in person. How in person? I don't know. I think they'll probably add more locations to social distance ourselves. Now, this all requires the cooperation of the National Committee of Bar Examiners, NCBE, and allowing the MBE to be delivered online. Okay, moving on. Practical Training of Law Students program. The bar is so nice that they may modify the rules that while you're waiting for the bar or you're eligible, you've graduated, can you practice law under an attorney? Or not really practice, but practicing training of law students. That's nice of them to allow them for you to continue to work for free and get experience. Good for them. So option 2 is to cancel and set it out for July 2021. I think they're probably going to go with the preferred option, but it's going to cause a lot of headache because you're going to be doing bars back to back if you don't pass in September. So that is what California has to say for the interest of the public, to make sure the public is protected. All right, moving on. Now, just for other resources, Oregon, I know not many of you are probably testing for Oregon. Oregon hasn't announced what they're going to do yet, but they fall under, like many states, they take the uniform bar exam. There are over 20 states that take the uniform bar exam, and you may be one of them because that's almost half the states, right? Makes sense. There's several of us. I'd like to say 50, but there's more than 50 bars. It's administrations. You got DC, you got Guam, etc. Okay, so the uniform bar exam, we will offer a fall UBE exam in lieu of the July exam. Okay, great. Fall means September, folks. Now, a update from the National Committee of Bar Examiners. Oh, back to Oregon. Very important. The National Committee of Bar Examiners will not announce whether the July exam will be canceled until at least May 5th, 2020. So you've got a couple weeks. May 5th is when they're going to release the, until whether they will cancel July or not. That's the National Committee of Bar Examiners, okay, or the uniform bar exam. I sound excited, but I've been cooped up all day, and I wanted to get this out to you. And who wants to watch a boring recording? So, National Committee of Bar Exams, the NCBE, Google, you're smart enough to figure that out. Their April 3rd release, they need to provide flexibility for jurisdictions and candidates and materials. So their goal is to provide materials for the July bar exam. If your state has it, they will also have 2 fall administrations in 2020, September 9 through 10, and September 30 through October 1st. I think most people are probably going to opt for the 1st September because that gives them 3 more weeks to grade everything. Now, since you're in, also New York, they're going to reschedule fall 2020. It will be rescheduled for fall 2020. So that means July's out, and likely September will be going on. So, taking care of California, New York, a little bit of Oregon, and all the National Committee of Bar Exams, the uniform bar exam states. So, good luck to you. Now, what do you do in the meantime? Well, I don't think you need to be killing yourself on studying. You might be looking into networking and coming up with another career, but my thought is with Bar Perfect, we got some formulas that will really stick with you. You know, I know that memorizing cards takes a lot of time and brain power, and you need to stay on top of it, kind of like a golf game or something that needs to take repetitive actions. However, Bar Perfect's formulas are basically writing formulas, issue spotting formulas, techniques that will be used not only in your bar exam, but also in how you write your memos in life. So check us out, but good luck to you, and sit tight, and if I learn of anything else, I'll let you know.